Hi, it's April 25th and it's time for our weekly mortgage update. So last week we were at 6.625 and we ended the week with this narrative between President Trump and Chairman Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And the beef between them is well chronicled. Now, coming into this week, essentially, there's two narratives, right? This beef between Trump and Powell. Trump's whole narrative is, the whole world is cutting rates. Europe's cut rates 7 times. We need to reduce the rates to basically stimulate the economy. Makes a lot of sense. On the flip side, Powell's pretty much saying we don't know the impact of these tariffs, right? We really don't know when China is going to come to the table, and that's the main one because pretty much all the other countries have at least showed the willingness, if not already started negotiations. And so we don't know. And because we don't know, he doesn't want to cut rates and then inflation kind of, gets up because of the tariffs, and then he's got to hike them again. So doesn't want to look like a fool. Neither of these two guys do, to be honest, right? They got big egos, so neither of them do. And so essentially, this is the construct that we're working with, where we've got the US dollar, which is the reserve currency of the world. We've got the 36 trillion of debt, right? And we don't have 36 trillion to pay that debt when it comes due. So essentially, we borrow money by issuing new debt to pay off the debt that's coming due. So if you're an investor, if you're a foreign country, and you're basically looking at this soap opera playthrough between the president and the chairman, right? And you pretty much say, one's asking for cuts, one's asking to keep it steady, the other's asking to raise rates. Like, what are you going to do? If you don't have certainty, what you're going to do is just pretty much sell everything, right? And so for the first time in a long time, stocks took a dump, like early this week, bonds fell and the dollar fell. Usually when you have one thing crash, the other, it's a flight to safety to the other, which goes up, a flight to safety to the third, which goes up. So, but there is a relationship up and down between all three. It's very rare that you get all three to fall at the same time. And President Trump realized this happening right away, early this week, and then kind of said, hey, let's make peace with Powell. Nobody buys that it's going to last too long, but at least for right now, the markets have kind of calmed down. And so today's 30-year is at 6.5. Again, single family home, primary residence, 30-year lock, excellent credit, right? And so what does it mean if you're looking to buy a home or refinance a home, right? This volatility has been crazy. So 4 weeks ago, 5.9. In 1 week, once the tariffs hit, 6.9. Then 6.625 last week, 6.5 this week. And it looks like we are going back towards the fives, right? So it's super important. That half a point, right, could be $500 a month, right? It's a car payment. So it really makes sense to go out, get a couple of quotes if you're looking to buy or refinance to lock in that rate. Also work with a lender that offers you a float down. If you get a 6.5 today and the rates are in the fives, you need to have that option to float it down and not refinance down the road, which is going to cost you money, right? So we closed today with a bunch of folks at 5.9, right, which we were able to time it a couple of weeks earlier. All our rates, again, are put out every day on social. We have our website. The link should be somewhere below. That essentially has pretty much all the criteria built in. You put in your purchase price, down payment, credit score, where you're buying, pretty much the zip code, and it should give you a rate. So very important to shop around for the best rate. And we'll catch you guys next Friday. Thank you.